This is Alan from ADDON. I'm going to introduce you to a script I've developed for my own use, which I'm making available. It's called MapInsight, and I'll run you through this step by step. So by way of introduction, as I said, my name's Alan from ADDON. I've developed a few Freeplane scripts which you can find on this site here, just here, at github.com/addxsoft/mapinsight. Make sure you get the capitals right. Now, why did I actually develop this script? I really like using mind map tools, and particularly doing concepts where you're linking ideas. So I actually use connectors quite heavily. I use the normal mind mapping where you've got a parent node that has children, but also there's a lot of connections between various nodes that you need in order to do concept mapping. Now, when I do use the connectors in Freeplane, they obviously work, but they do get a little bit clumsy, especially when you've got lots and lots of connectors. So what I wanted was a way that I could see the nodes and all the connection relationships easily, while I still had the map view, and I wanted to also be able to get the connectors invisible at times and visible at other times. So that was the reason for this script. It's quite easy to install. You simply go to the GitHub site. I'll just show you that. This is the MapInsight area within GitHub, and this is the script MapInsight. This is version 1.groovy. You may see later versions as it gets changed and enhanced, but as at the time of this video, there's the base version there, version 1.0. There's also information there about using MapInsight, and you can read that as well as see this video. So installation, you go to this clone or download here, and if you press that, there's a download zip. So you simply download the zip, which will have this script within it as a file, and also the readme.md. In Freeplane, you go to up here to Tools and open the user directory, and a folder will come up where you can see the user directory. I'm using Freeplane 1.5.18 at the moment. The scripts folder is where it goes, and there's the script sitting in there. That's a groovy script that you will need. Now, once you drag the groovy script wherever you've downloaded it and unzipped it, you drag it into this scripts folder. So I'll get those out of the way. Now, once that's in the folder, you restart Freeplane. It's very important you do that, otherwise the script won't be known. And the way Freeplane works, as I understand it, is that the scripts are all preloaded when you start Freeplane, and if you add any scripts, as we're trying to do here, into the open user directory folder, and then in fact they won't be seen because they haven't been preloaded. That's why you exit Freeplane and come back into it. So once you've done that, in your Tools Scripts menu, you will see MapInsight. Now, I've also assigned MapInsight to, in this case, I'm on an Apple, so it's a Command Shift X. It could be on a Windows, a Windows key, Shift X, or whatever you like. And the way that you do that is simply you go to Assign Hotkey, and it says to create a new keyboard shortcut, click on the desired command in the menu, and you just simply go to Tools, Scripts, MapInsight, and then press the keys you want. In my case, it's Meta Shift X and say OK. That means then that whenever you want to execute that script, you can, without having to go through this rigmarole, go through the menu and find scripts and then find the script you need, you can just press the shortcut key there. So that's installation and a little bit of an introduction. So what is MapInsight? It's a Freeplane script. It lets you walk around the nodes in a map in a little window that comes up over here, and you can see the nodes, you can see the children, parent, and any connections in and out of the node. If you hover over the nodes in that little window, you'll see all the information inside the node. So the connectors you can see, and they're much easier to see than heaps and heaps of connectors on a busy map, as I'll show you later on. Another interesting thing you can do is you can say, well, this node that I'm currently on, what are the possible connections? And you can use words that are within the node, the focus node that you're on. So your focus node might say paragraphs and content, for example, and you could find any other nodes that have the words paragraph or content in them. I've set it up so that it ignores noise words like the, and, or, and so on. There's a table of those in the script. Unfortunately, it's only English at the moment, but it will be very simple to change that table to another language, German, French, or whatever. You can also find possible connection candidates just using a phrase, irrespective of what's in the nodes you're looking at. And once you've found candidates, you can actually create connectors easily. You just I'll demonstrate it, but you just basically right click on one of the candidates and say, yep, I want a connector there, and give it a label and make that connection. There's also a connections manager where it will just show you all of the connectors in a map, and you can remove a connector or edit it, and then if you want, you can actually remove all the connectors in the map. I actually use this quite a lot because I have temporary connections where I'm looking at data and I want to make some associations. I get those associations, and then once I've got them, and I don't need them anymore, I just remove all the connectors in the map and use a different one. So that's MapInsight overview. So we'll get on with actually demonstrating the script. So for the demonstration, I thought it would be fun to take something I probably didn't know that well and do a little bit of analysis on it. So I thought I'll get Shakespeare's Macbeth, and I've got some data off the internet about the Macbeth play. So to start off with, we've got an empty node, and basically I was for the demonstration building up some characters, and also so Macbeth obviously is a character. I happen to know there's a Lady Macbeth, a Macduff, and a Lady Macduff. So they're some of the characters. In each of these, I would have edited a note and put in information about Macbeth, and basically built that up. Also, I've got the acts. There was Act 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and within an act is the scene. So there'll be scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, etc. and again I put notes on the scenes. I put notes and details on the scenes. So if you're not familiar with Freeplane, a node can hold its own text. So in this case, this node has the text Macbeth. It's got a note which can have a whole raft of text in it, sorry, and also details, which is another area that information's stored in. So basically, to save time, what I did was I basically set up all of the characters, and I found various information on the internet and built that into this sort of base version of Macbeth, which I'll just zoom in a bit on this. So here I've got all the characters. If I look at Macbeth, there's a lot of text there about Macbeth. If I look at the acts and say scene 1 here, you'll see scene 1 has got a note, this quickly and without much ado, etc. And it's also got the details, which says a desert place. So here I have all of the information gathered that I need broadly, where I've got all the characters of the play and all the acts and all the scenes. So that's the basis, basic information that I'm going to have for the demonstration. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. Let's have a look first of all at the structure. So here I'm going to go to MapInsight version 1, which opens this little window here, and here's Shakespeare's Macbeth. You'll see that when I press on that, that's the focus node I'm on. When I press on that, it gets highlighted here. So there's a relationship between this window and the map. This happens to be the root node, so, and it has two children, characters and acts. So you'll see their characters. If I hover on that, you'll see the title of the node is characters. It's a child, and there's nothing in the note, nothing in the details. Same with acts. So it's not that interesting. It's a bit more interesting when if you double click on these children, characters is now the node, the focus node we're looking at. And now I can have a bit of an explore about what all these characters are. So Macbeth, if I hover on Macbeth, I can see the note about Macbeth. I can see the note, in fact, for all of the various things. I can also go to this map if I want and also see the note there. But just so that you can quickly scan all the things in this window, the idea was that you just hover over them and you can sort of briefly have a look at them like this, get an idea of what all the characters are, and read through that. If I can keep drilling down. Now I'm at the bottom there, but if I go to go back up to characters, so I'm on characters now, and I look at the witches. There's the children of the witches, and there's prophecy 1, prophecy 2, etc. So prophecy 1 was killed swine, and prophecy 2, let's go to that one. I can look at that as well. Is revenge upon a sailor whose wife did not properly shear chestnuts. So this is sort of broadly how you walk around the map, and when you have this white button here is the focus node. Whenever you're on the focus node, it looks at all the things underneath. It sort of the children are all taken into account. Now, another thing you can do walking around, say you would like to look at apparitions there. Now you can see that I've got apparitions focused in the map, but it's not focused in here. So what I can do is I can say open the selected map node. So now it goes to apparitions, It's another way you can move around with these actions. You can go back to the root at any time. Shakespeare's Macbeth, and we're back on the root. Now, if we look at one of the characters, obviously the main one's Macbeth, then we can start to look at. I'll just mention two before I go on. Recent Snows Visited does give you another way to look at what you've looked at in the past. So let's say Prophecy 1, for example. While I'm focused on Macbeth, I could locate Prophecy 1 in the map and have a look at it, but I haven't actually focused on it. If I want to focus on it, I use Go To, which now puts Prophecy 1 as the central area that this map is focused on. So that's history, and they're the actions. Now there are some things in the view that are quite interesting. You can see the node details as a little window if you want. It's pretty much the same as hovering over this, same sort of information. But you also have these some various things you can do with connectors. So now we'll just explore some connections. We'll go. Let's go to Macbeth. So we'll open that select in there. So Macbeth is now our focus, and we can say what are the candidates that may connect to Macbeth. Now I've got some choices here. I could go here and just put in any sort of phrase I like, either a whole bunch of words separated by commas, or a single phrase in double quotes. So for example, I could just put something that makes sense as two words together, Lady Macbeth, for example. And I could look in any candidates, so look around the whole map for any candidates, and I can look in the text, the titles, the note text or the details text, and see any references to Lady Macbeth. So there we see all the references. But we'll focus on Macbeth himself, and what we'll do, this is for the current node, the current node, we use the words from the core text. Well, there's only one word here, which is Macbeth. We could use words that are in the note as well. So you can see the note for Macbeth is quite big. It's got words like Duncan, military, advisors, generals, all that sort of stuff. So if we wanted to also search for those words, we would tick this box. I'll leave it fairly simple, this first one, where we just simply are looking for Macbeth, and in the target nodes we'll just look in the title, the core text, and we'll only find Lady Macbeth and the root node, because we're only looking in the titles of each node. If we go and look again and we say, okay, for Macbeth, we'll also use all the words in the note that's contained within Macbeth. You'll find there's more candidates, so they're based on king, etc. The reason it doesn't say witches with an S is I actually remove plurals, so it's easier to find a word whether it's a singular or plural. So that's used the note in Macbeth. There are quite a lot of words that do get missed, but it's basically you can always work those out yourself and view connection candidates and use the strings here. So now we'll look for candidates where they've got the word Macbeth, and it's on the candidate node. It's in the core text, the note text, or the details text. So here we see there's a lot more of them, heaps of them, and Macbeth is mentioned in quite a lot of scenes. If we look at this one here, it's scene 3, and if you look down the bottom of that, area, you can see the parents Act 5. So it's Scene 3, Act 5, Scene 3, Act 4, Scene 3, Act 2, etc. So let's say that all we wanted to do was know which scenes Macbeth was in. We could simply go to, okay, we're looking for Macbeth. We could say, just look in, don't look in the title, just look for any mention in the note text. And now we can see that Macbeth is in scene 1 through scene 7. Big surprise, because he's the main character. So that's the idea of connections, is you find connections based on phrases or words you put in, or words that are derived from the various text areas within a node. And you can search the target nodes in all those three areas. Now, we'll do a bit more of a meaningful analysis in this demonstration. I'll show you first of all the obvious ones, which is if I pull up the window, I'll just hit Command Shift X, and if I look for the connector candidates for Macbeth, just using his words, then I find his wife. There's his wife there. I've just clicked on that, and that is now blue. Now I could say locate his wife. You can move these windows around. There's his wife. There's the notes. I can also hover on this and see the notes. And you can see the red words within the note are the words that it's matched that Lady Macbeth node with. So now we have Lady Macbeth. We located it. We could go to it, which means it's now the focus. I'll just go back to our friend Macbeth again. Actions, open that in the map. So now if I go to candidates and find Lady Macbeth, I can say, if I right click on this, I can create a connector from Macbeth to Lady Macbeth, and I can put a label. It's worth pointing out the whole philosophy I use with connectors is I just use the middle label. I don't use the source and target labels. It just keeps things simpler. So I'm creating a connector from Macbeth to Lady Macbeth. And what is the connection? The connection from Macbeth to Lady Macbeth is that Lady Macbeth is his wife. So I can add that connector, so you can see that connector there. See it a bit clearer here. So this connector has been added here. Now obviously Lady Macbeth, if we go open her up and connector candidates, then we find Macbeth. So Macbeth, we can right click on Lady Macbeth. The relationship between Lady Macbeth and Macbeth is he is the husband. So now we have a husband connector and a wife connector. Now if I go to the to the root node and open that up, I could have done it by selecting it there and then go in Action Open Selected Map. It's one way of doing it. You can see Macbeth and Lady Macbeth there, around here. You can see the husband connector, but not the wife connector. If you go to the Connections Manager, you can see there's two connectors. And when you click on one, it highlights. You click on the other, it highlights. But the problem is that you can see that these connectors are overlapping, and Freeplane doesn't easily distinguish between the two. So to look at a more sophisticated example with the connections manager, if we look at the analysis I've done here, it's a little bit better. Connectors visually are a little bit of a problem. So if I go to the root node here, we can see what it looks like in MapInsight. So I've initiated and opened the MapInsight window here. So if I go to the different characters now, let's go to Macbeth. I've double clicked on Macbeth. We can see the incoming connections. So for example, Macbeth enemy is Lennox. Macduff is the enemy of Macbeth. Prediction 1 says Macbeth will become Lord King of Scotland. Duncan the King, Macbeth was one of his generals. He's an enemy of the witches. So that's the incoming connectors in red. Green up here is the root, the next parent up above. Here's the focus node, Macbeth. And if we look down here, these are the connectors out. So Macbeth murdered Lady Macduff, nice fellow. Requested apparitions from the witches. He was killed by Macduff. After murdering Duncan, he became the King of Scotland. His wife's Lady Macbeth. He plans to murder Macduff. He murders Duncan the King. He plans to murder Banquo, and he plans to murder Fleance. So overall, Macbeth was not a very nice character, but you can see that it's a lot easier to interpret than trying to look over here at the connections visually. So if we look to one of the other characters, Duncan, for example, we can see that Lady Macbeth planned to kill Duncan and Macbeth murdered him. One of his generals was Banquo, his son was Malcolm. He was the first king murdered by Macbeth. He's got another son, and Malcolm, his son, up here is a connector there, was heir to the throne. So these are all little facts that were gained by looking at the text for each of the characters and determining their relationship to other characters, and putting in a connector basically that helps visually you to see them in this much simpler view than this view over here. We'll go to the root node and open up and look at the connections manager here, and there's lots of connections. Now if I want to see, for example, Macbeth plans to murder Banquo, I can sort of see it, but it does get hidden underneath all those things. So maybe if I reduce switches you can see a bit of it, but the the transparency of connectors is not too crash hot. It just gets too messy. So seeing them in a list like this, it helps to some extent. That one's a bit better. Macbeth murdered Lady Macduff. You can see that murdered connector there. He's highlighted in blue. So if you move around the connectors, you can see it highlights them in different places, wherever they are. But they're still very difficult. It does help if you right click on a connector, you've got all the connector dialog there. It does help to locate the line to click on. But it's still, connectors are still layout wise quite messy. So hence the reason I've got this this script to help me. So that's the analysis, and you can see that there are options to hide the connectors, there's options to unhide them, which can help reduce the clutter on the screen. So we've sort of had a look at building up the Macbeth analysis, and showing you the full analysis. That's this one here that I did. Well, I say full, it's, you know, probably I spent an hour going through it, making up those relationships, and if I want to go back and study it further, I can sort of add more and more connectors as I go. For example, let's just say that I want to know the scenes that Macbeth's in. I could actually say there's no scenes there at all at the moment. I can actually say the connector candidates. Don't look at the cortex, but look at the in the target. So within the scenes, look at these notes here and see what we find. And there's some there, the scenes there. I could go through those individually, right click on them and connect them, or I could do it very quickly and just go connect all, and just close that. So now if we open up this whole map here, you'll see that I'll zoom out in a minute so it's a bit clearer. View, zoom out. You can see the sort of pattern of connections that exist. It's a lot clearer there. But you can see scene-wise, Macbeth's heavily involved in everything. So it's a tool to help you with the analysis. I wouldn't say it's the ultimate tool, and it would be good if there was sort of a bit more functionality within Freeplane that helped you with this. I've used more sophisticated tools that have much better use of connectors and labeling of connectors, and are able to do smart things with a whole bunch of connectors and their label relationships. But this sort of gets things into a bit more of a tidier state for me to do analysis. As a last sort of demonstration of some of the features, using what we've already seen, I thought it'd be interesting how you would use this MapInsight tool to look through a bit of a contract. And I thought, which contracts could I use? But I found the Facebook terms and conditions, and I've got all the main sections of the contract here. For each of those, I've taken the clauses as children and put those clauses in there. And I've also there's also a note with some of the preamble for that section in the terms and conditions. So that's all the data on the right hand side of the contract. In fact, if I open it up, you can see that it's it's got all of the contract in terms and conditions in there, the main high level one. There are supplementary terms and conditions which you have to read as well, which are pretty large as well. But for basic things, I wanted to see, well, how could I use this tool to get a better understanding of things? So I created a node here called content, and what I want to find out is which clauses actually do refer to content. So all I have to do is Command Shift X to activate the script, and I'm on the content node here. If I view connectors, connector candidates, then yes, I want to use the words from the node itself, and I want to look inside any of the notes and details or text within the candidates. So these are all of the candidates that mention the word content. You can sort of look at each one and you can see where the word content was used. Now, assuming that I just generally want to know where they all are, I can connect them all. And now, if I now refresh content, so I'll just go back and open that again, here's all the content, and I can see that at a glance. I can add another node, and I might want to find out about let me see, developers. So again, I just activate that node, view connectors, connector candidates, searching everything, and there are 3 clauses that refer to developers. So if I return to the root node, so I've gone to the absolute top of the tree, and I view all of the connections that fall beneath me, you'll see that there are all the content ones we added and the developer ones. You can also at this point edit the labels or remove them as you wish. It's important to note that you've also got you can sort them, so you just click this little sort label here on any of the columns, and you can sort in any of those columns as you prefer. But it does allow you to group things, and to if I want to see everything on content, I can just go and open that up and see all of those very quickly, and quickly scan all of the content links there. So that is what MapInsight is, and as I say, it is experimental. I've been playing around with it. I'm sure there's some more sophistication could be created in terms of matching words and so on. The stop word list I've got, I got off the internet as a sort of comprehensive list of stop words. You can add your own stop words as well to improve the or decrease actually the number of connections based on words you're not interested in. But you can overcome that with a phrase in the connections anyway. Where will it go from here? I'm not sure, but I do find it a useful tool. I've used it quite a bit now to do analysis, and it does give me a little bit of the ability to walk around the map in the way you may have done in other tools, and I hope that it's useful. It is. It took me quite a lot of development work. I wasn't that familiar with Groovy or Java Swing, which has been used for the UI. I'm sure some of the Java Swing people out there will probably wince when they see some of the code, but it does seem to work pretty well. I've tested it on Windows and on Mac. Windows, I did it on Windows 7, Windows 10. It seems to work all right, and I've checked it on Mac, El Capitan, and Sierra, and I've tested it with Freeplane 1.3 and 1.5. I know there's a new Freeplane out, 1.6, which I haven't yet tried it on. They're normally pretty good at upward compatibility, so hopefully it will work on those. Anyway, good luck, and I'll see you somewhere further down the Freeplane logs.